Fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
Man, we are live, man. We are live, man. Post-game edition. What's going on, man? It's man, the Raiders, man. Another week, another loss by the Las Vegas Raiders, man. Raiders are gonna Raider. Tough game today. If you're just pulling up, make sure to clock in. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You already know. You already know what time it is.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Welcome to the Las Vegas Raiders with PharoahNFL.
The prime thing is you have to win. You have to win.
Real Raiders conversations
You
with
got to
Raider
win.
Nation. Make sure to
That's
clock
Raiders
in,
going right now.
like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Man, salute to everybody pulling up, man. I know y'all watched that game today, man. A tough game. I thought it would have been a better game than what we've seen. Usually, from what we've seen in recent history, AP coach teams usually respond after a loss. But, man, they did not. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they came, they saw, they conquered. The stadium was filled with Steeler fans. I was there last year, so I already know what it looked like in person this year. It was more of the same, just looking at, like, the footage from the game. It was almost like a Steelers home game, which made things worse. We got some people pulling up left and right, man. We got Raider Paul in the building. He says, "I told you AOC was trash." I mean, no one really said that he was good to begin with, but obviously, the Raiders are in a situation where they needed to try something to change it up, maybe spark the offense, try something different. But today's game, man, it was just a combination of a lot of different things. The refs didn't help. I know y'all familiar with that. The refs definitely didn't help today's game. Some of those calls, man, the quarterback getting hit, all that stuff, man. These rules, man. Today's rules when it comes to the quarterback is a little too soft, man. But it is what it is. And to be honest with you, that last call was crazy. That roughing, man, man. I mean, we can talk about a lot of different things. Chill Ray in the building says, as the weeks go by, it's looking more like AP isn't the guy. Sheesh, like that. So this is what we kind of do. You know what I mean? We're kind of used to, if it's not working out, let's fire everybody. But I'm kind of. It's tough because I understand where you guys are coming from. Because I've been a Raider fan for a while now, and I've seen everything. But at the same time, like, you got to give the guy more than 1 year. He doesn't have a quarterback. What'd you expect? What'd you expect, man? And I'm not going to lie. It's not even just about the quarterback with this team. The defense, they took 2 steps back this year. And a lot of that has to do with injuries too, but tackling has been an issue every game this year. The defense giving up big plays in the run game have been an issue every game this year. So you got to look at everything. Yeah, in the building, man. He says, "Salute Nation." What now? Let's hope that we get that first round QB this year. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. Super Omnicrom in the building. How we feeling? Fire Getsy vibe. Yeah, I mean, there are moments where I'm like, okay, Getsy called some. Okay, this is cool. Okay, throwing early on first down. Got to catch him off guard. Try to get AOC going. Play action. I like it. But then there was a moment in the game. There was that moment in the game where, there's probably a lot of different moments, but there was one moment that I remember in the game where it was 1st and 20. The Raiders obviously is on the players. They called a holding call on one of the offensive linemen. It was 1st and 20, and then we run the ball back-to-back times. It's 3rd and 17, and then we punt. Obviously, we didn't get the first down. Like, I just didn't understand that sequence of how everything went down. I didn't get that. Like, why are you running the ball back-to-back times for it to be 3rd and 17? What are you trying to accomplish? At that point, we're still in the game. But, that's just many examples of how the Raiders lost today, man. Make sure to let me know, man, how y'all feel about the loss. I'm actually going to put up a call-in number in just a few. If y'all feeling like calling in and letting me know, let Raider Nation know how y'all feel, man. It's frustrating to watch, man. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, you can't fire everyone all the time. Exactly. Where are we going to have stability? Where are we going to have some type of consistency? Look, if you don't have a quarterback, if you have a lot of injuries, you got a star receiver tapping out a couple weeks ago, who it's all supposed to be all good, but we already know what that is. The offers aren't on the table. So the Raiders definitely got to, make it seem like they would want to keep a Devontae Adams, but I think he's going to eventually be traded. Brian Rodriguez says, "We are ass. Let's get to the offseason. AP looks like he doesn't belong as a head coach." Sheesh. Everybody's coming for AP right now. Our team is not good. Yeah, I agree. The Raiders are not a good team right now. And probably not the rest of the season. I mean, there's not really nothing to – I don't think there's certain issues that the Raiders have. I don't know if it's going to be fixed this season. And that starts probably with quarterback. I would get rid of everyone that can bring me draft picks, including Max. We are too far away. Sheesh. Brian, we're going to have you you're going to have to call in a few. That's crazy. Even Max. Hey, did y'all see that Max? Did y'all see Max push the assistant coach Caldwell? Let me actually put that in here. If anybody didn't see that clip, I'm going to go ahead and share that on the screen real quick. Give me just a second. And then we'll take a look at some of the things that happened today as far as the box score. Hold on one second. So Max, I don't know. It was probably near the end of the game because I was kind of checked out, after that fumble by Amir Abdullah at the end of the game, which was crazy. Why didn't we not challenge? Why didn't we challenge? That's on coach. That's coaching. That's on AP. Hold on one second. Let me, I'm going to put this. So this happened near the end of the game. Max Crosby, at some point in the game, Max Crosby's getting off the field. He looks very, the way it's just the body language. The way he did it was, you could tell he was frustrated. And he pushes the assistant coach, Mike Caldwell, believe is one of the assistants. I think he was a defensive coordinator for the Jags last year too. So let me go ahead and I think I retweeted this. Hold on one second. Yeah, here we go. Shout out to Raider Ramble. I think he had it on. Or that's where I first seen it. Or one of the first times I've seen it, actually. Well, let's see. So here is Max Crosby. Not a long clip, but you can see it. What was that about? And you know what? Like when you see this, right? When you see that, automatically you think of, or I mean, when I thought about it, I think a lot of people thought was that Aaron Rodgers when he pushed Saleh this year, who eventually was fired. So is Max Crosby obviously frustrated with the coaching staff? I mean, I'm sure he's frustrated with the Raiders losing. It's tough. It's tough, man. Yaya says you can see the team can do it. You can see the team can't do it or can do it. Can? Raider Alex in the building, my guy, man. If y'all haven't subscribed, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to Raider Alex on YouTube and also follow him on IG. He's killing the game with his memes, man, and be having me rolling. He says, this shit was cheeks. Yeah. I mean, I can't even disagree with you. I can't disagree with you, man. It was terrible. Terrible loss all the way around. Special teams, we had a block, punt, defense. Like I said, tackling has been an issue all year long. We made look, Najee Harris looked like Marshawn Lynch in his prime. If you want to take it way back, Earl Campbell. We made him look like one of the best running backs in the league. I mean, he's a solid running back, but man, when Najee Harris was in the game running the football, we could not stop him. We could not stop him at all. My guy Rambo Adventures, man, Raider Nation Thailand in the house. He says, woke up at 3 a.m. again, not doing again this season unless they put together a long winning streak. I don't know if it happens, man. I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not sure where they win another game. It's looking that bad. Because some of the things that they're dealing with, it's not getting better. I think we could sense it a little bit. Like we at first, I kind of, one of the early season predictions I had, at worst the Raiders are going to be, 8-9. Me being optimistic. At best, we're going to be like 9-8, 10-7, But now looking at it, each and every week, I'm not sure if we win more than 5 games. I'm going to be honest with you. D-Mokes know what it is. Mock draft time. And I'm not trying to be negative. It's a post-game reaction. I'm just reacting to what we've just seen. And obviously, we've seen, I'm sure everybody that's in the chat has seen every game this season. Sweet Army crying. He says, but AP a real Raider. 64 Impala. Raider jacket, come on, but it's getting Omni crying, you got jokes. I mean, you know what, man? Hey, look. AP was inexperienced to begin with. The question is do you give an inexperienced guy 1 year or do you give him more than 1 year? I mean, come on now. Like, if you hire someone inexperienced, aren't you going to give him time to put together a team that's in his image? Obviously, we were excited going into the season with the defense. It took a step back, but they have dealt with a lot of, issues with injuries on defense, that side of the ball. With Kuntz, obviously, Wilkins went down last week. Max even missed the game. Max never misses a game, but even he missed the game. And in the offense, we all know, man, we didn't have a quarterback going into it, and now we're realizing, again, we don't have a quarterback. So are we really that surprised? I mean, you got to give him an opportunity to get his quarterback at the very least. I mean, look, I don't know if anybody was watching that Saints game earlier today. And Spencer Rattler didn't look too bad. He looked, like a rookie at times, but he looked better than what we have at quarterback, if we're being honest. He looked way better. Way better. But, that's a different conversation for another day, man. So I'm going to put a phone number in here, man, if y'all want to call in, chime in. I know I got people that want to call in, man. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, let me get this. So you can see it on the screen. Let me see. Put it right here. We'll put it right here. Calling number, man, is 628-333-9343, man. Y'all want to call in? Let me know your thoughts of the game, man, how the season's going. Some of y'all calling out AP. Obviously, the elephant in the room is the quarterback position. We kind of knew that, right? And oh my God, yes. This. Let's get to that, man. The fumbles. Dylan Lobby's never going to play a game this season. His first carry was a fumble. First carry. And we didn't see Dylan Lobby the rest of the game. And then hold on 1 second. Hold on. Getting a call real quick. Why is it not? Call back, man. I seen you call in, man. Call back one more time. All right, we got someone calling in.
Call from
Raider Smoke.
Oh, we got Raider smoking.
To accept, press 1.
We got Raider Smoke in the building, man, calling in. What's good,
God.
man? What's good?
Yo, I'm a little busy, but I just want to tap in real quick.
What's going on, Smoke, man? I know you watched the same game I was watching, man. It was terrible. Terrible to say the least, man. What are your thoughts on the game, man?
It was terrible. My takeaways are from the game are fire Lugetti. Trash. AP, I can't put the blame on him, but he decided to hire Lugetti and not address the quarterback position. And now we're starting to see that it's coming back to bite us in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And, Dylan Lobby, I mean, there's so many negatives from the game.
Yeah.
Where do I start?
Yeah. No, you're right, man. Like the turnovers. You know what I mean? The turnovers are bad. I mean, Dylan Lobby fumbling, like you just mentioned. I mean, Amir Abdullah, who, I mean, one of the negatives you could say, but I'm tired of hearing it, bro. I'm trying to hear it. I'm tired of making excuses. But I was just about to make an excuse. The referees didn't call the game. Bro, at this point,
if you look closely at the refs, they were wearing silver, black and gold.
They were. I agree. But my point is, when do we say, you know what? I mean, the old school Raiders knew what time it was. Like they you know what I mean? This has always been an issue. The Raiders are just not a good enough team. So like things like this they're going to hurt even more because the room for error is small. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just disappointing, after so many years supporting your team and showing up to the stadium and seeing the product on the field and how trash it is. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it goes back to ownership, man. I think Mark Davis got to sell the team. It trickles down from the top all the way down. There's a lot more glaring needs than just the offensive coordinator. I think it starts from the top.
Yeah, man. I posted something like late last week, and I believe it was It was a guy from like ESPN or something. And he wasn't even necessarily talking about the Raiders. I think he was talking about the Jets. But it applies to the Raiders. I mean, when
100%.
when the Raiders lose for this long and you have different coaches, different players, different everything, different stadium, but one constant who's always there, and that's Mark Davis. You know, he has to take some type of accountability. But, you know, no one wants to talk about that because, you know, it's the owner and, you know what I mean? Like, he's hiring the people, like, he's trying. But, like, hey, if we're being honest, look, Smoke, I know you're a hoop fan, right? You're a basketball fan. I know you're a fan of the Warriors, right?
Yep.
Growing up, the Warriors were trash, right?
Oh, terrible. Trash.
But what happened? At some point, that changed. What happened? The team was sold. The team was sold, and then Curry got drafted. Klay Thompson got drafted. Draymond Green got drafted. Somehow, some way, for some reason, they just made all the right moves. You know what I mean? They hired all the right people. You know, Bob Myers. Shout out to him, man. He put together a lot of those teams, but he was hired by a new ownership. I'm just saying, man, we also got to take a look at that. But, you know, it's a conversation it's hard to have because at the end of the day, like, it's kind of out of our control. Like, we can't really, I mean, that's his team. Mark ain't never going to sell the team. He's not going to sell the team.
And, you know, back to what you said about the Warriors, it was an unpopular decision at the time, but it was the best decision for the franchise going forward. And look what happened. So,
yeah. But going back to the game, man, what was like the biggest disappointment? Like watching the game. I mean, you said it was a lot of different things, but like what was kind of like the biggest key to this loss?
For me, it was the offense. I felt like with the AOC being the quarterback, people were screaming and shouting, "Oh, how AOC was going to be balling out!" You know, now that they made the quarterback change, and the lack of play calling, creativity. It almost felt like it was run, screen, run, screen, running on third down and 18 or whatever it was. Like, for me, it was the offense and the offensive play calling.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. The offense, there was too many 3 and outs. There's too many drives that, you know what I mean, we couldn't finish with the score. You know, I'm gonna look at the other side, man, because the other side is the defense, and I don't know why no one's really talking about it, but I guess because, you know, the obvious is we don't have a quarterback. We're kind of frustrated, and we thought that was going to be something that was improved this year, at the very least better than last year, but it looks like more of the same. But I'm gonna look at the defense though. The defense to me is like the biggest disappointment of this entire season, because our expectations this year were this team's identity is going to be led by their defense, right? And then everything else. A little improvement on the offense. We can win some games, but that didn't happen. And the fact that we can't tackle nobody, that doesn't help either. So, I mean, if you're looking at like time of possession here, the Steelers are leading the way a little bit here, but I think like the biggest issue is those turnovers. Untimely turnovers and untimely penalties too. The Raiders only have 4 to the Steelers 7, but like those penalties came at like the wrong time, bro. And a few, I'm not gonna lie, were questionable at best. I think that was a big part of the game too, because remember we scored that touchdown with Amir Abdullah right before the quarter ended.
And you know what? Not to be negative all the time, but let's talk about the AP coaching decision not to challenge the Amir Abdullah or the I don't know if it was Amir Abdullah or Alexander Madison. I can't remember, but the play where they scored a touchdown and they ruled that he was down.
Yeah.
And then they rushed right after and fumbled the ball.
Yeah. People will talk about the turnover. I was quick to talk about the turnover. I think I mentioned that earlier, but yeah. Who would you put that on? Is that on AOC hurting up or
AP?
AP.
You got. I mean, I don't know who's feeding them the information, but you gotta at least take a timeout and review it and look at it and then throw a challenge flag or something. But you can't just allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And in Raider fashion, we hurry up, fumble the ball, and that's pretty much ball game.
Nah, facts. That was a big part of the game. I think that was like the dagger. that was the one that had me like just walk away. Like I'm just like, man, this game's over. This game is pretty much over.
Yep.
You know, when you make mistakes like that, stuff like that takes the life out of the team. I mean, we all seen what happened the week before when Gardner Minshew threw that pick six early in the game, and that almost like kind of like changed the whole outcome. Like the way the game was played after that was like literally Denver was just dominating. Who got blown out by the way? I think they got blown out today by the Chargers. Let me see the final score on that game. I don't know if you know it off the top of your dome, man. Hold on, let's see. Let's take a look. Chargers lost. Oh, they came back. They came back. They made it a little bit interesting. 23-16 was the final score. Broncos, but they were losing big. I think it was like 20-0 at one point. But, you know, that being said, we're talking about the Raiders today, man. Hey, man, any like moving forward, man, what do you want to see with this team? Are there any changes that can be made at this point? I feel like everybody's kind of like, you know what, let's try to see if we can get the best draft pick possible. Like, do you want to see like any young players come on the field, or are there guys that you want to? I know you mentioned Getsy is a guy that you probably want gone.
All the obvious is Getsy, right? I mean, but what's the backup plan? There is no backup plan. So,
right.
What I want to see is just better creativity, offensive play calling, opening it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, you got nothing to lose. We're already, out of it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's tough, bro. It's tough, man. But I think he's gonna give him the whole season before they make that decision. So, but if you're gonna be drafting a quarterback in the first round, you definitely want to pair him up with like a, innovative, great offensive-minded coach so he can develop the right way. You don't want to have Getsy, let's say if Getsy's terrible, have him be a part of drafting a quarterback, and then he gets fired, and then you got to, we all know that revolving door OC kind of messes up a quarterback's career early on. So you want to make sure you get the right guy, but yeah, go ahead.
100%. Let me ask you real quick, Farrell, what do you think? You think AP? You think after this year is he gone, or does he come back?
Man, I think that he should get one more year. I think AP should get one more year because I think it sets a bad precedence if we fire a coach after 1 year and we don't give him the opportunity to develop. Like, what are you expecting after 1 year with a guy that was inexperienced? It's just my opinion. I understand we're frustrated with the team, but I think a lot of this happens every year. Fans, we have high hopes of what the season could be. And I think I lost Smoke, but just to finish up the question that he asked, I just think that we have all these high expectations, but then when we don't get what we want, we're quick to blame the coach. But we knew beforehand that, we didn't have a quarterback. We knew beforehand that this offense was in its first year. We knew that Getsy was kind of questionable at OC, which you could probably put on AP, but that's something that he could probably correct if you give him more than 1 year. Get the right guy in the building. And there's still a long season to go, but I understand, like, we're all frustrated with what Getsy in that offense. Hold on 1 second. I think I'm getting a call here. Yeah, I think I lost Smoke. But, yeah, I seen people calling in, man. You see the number 628-333-9343, man. The Raiders lose 32-13. They get blown out at home by a long-time hated rival back in the day, Steelers. I mean, now at this point, it really isn't a rivalry because, Raiders ain't winning. It was a rivalry back in the day, though. It's a historical rivalry, but It just sucks that the Raiders can't win. Come on, man. Raider Frank the Tank says forfeit the season. That'd be the saddest thing ever. Raider Scorpio 562 says, I ain't watching this sorry ass team this season. I got better shit to do on my day off, man. I feel you, man. Hey, look, I ain't mad at you. Raiders disappointed again this week, man. Hold on, let me actually put up the hold on. Am I not seeing the missed calls? All right, let's see.
Call from
Mike.
What's good? Is this Big Mike?
You already know, man, what's going on. Shout out to Jack.
Snaps. We got Big Mike in the building, man. My guy, man, around the shield. Brethren, man, he's on the call, man. Hey, let the people know how you feeling about this game, man. This is a terrible loss against the Steelers, man. What are your thoughts on the game, bro?
Bro, I spent most of the game sitting on my hands, man. It was hard to deal with, bro. It's just, I got no words for this team, man.
Yeah, man. Tough game. I mean, offensively, it started off nice, man. That first drive, we scored a touchdown. We mixed in a little bit of run with a little play action, got the ball moving. Looked pretty efficient. Probably, you can argue, one of the best drives this season. You know what I mean? If not the best. Just as far as from an offensive, how it just looked. It just looked real smooth. Like, oh, man, we look like a professional NFL offense. But then it just...
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
I have nothing against what, he's doing, Gibson's doing. I got an echo right now, so it's like throwing off my thought process. But
oh, for real, you got an echo? Oh, hold on, my bad. Hold on.
Yeah, I got an echo, for whatever reason. But
Let's see.
As far as the offense goes, it's just hard for me to see, like, after those scripted plays, what are they trying to do? You run the ball on 3rd and 11. And you get 7 yards, and then you punt the ball, and we saw that throughout the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just frustrating to watch. I think Getsy has to go, man.
Yeah, he got to go because they got away from the run game, and then there was a moment in time. I don't remember if you remember this point where the Raiders got a holding call. They got a first down and they got a holding call, and it was like 1st and 20. I think it was in the second half, maybe late first half. And we run the ball back-to-back times.
Right. Yeah, it was like 1st and 20, 2nd and 18, and then on 3rd and 16, they want to throw the ball.
It's like I don't know what he was trying to accomplish by running the ball back-to-back times on first and 20, starting with 1st and 20, and then obviously 3rd and long. It didn't make any sense to me. There are times where I'm like, okay, it makes sense a little bit. Like, they're throwing on early downs, maybe try to, catch this pass rush off guard. I could get with that. Play action. Okay. AOC's comfortable throwing in play action. Okay. I like that. But it's just moments in the game where I'm like, man, like, what are you doing, man? It's tough.
And my other thing is where was Trey Tucker? Where was the jet sweeps? Where was the creative running plays that we saw last week and the week before?
Yeah.
Like, we saw none of that.
Yeah. Nah, facts. We didn't see any of that. But it was tough, like obviously the 2 starting receivers were out. But they knew that though. They knew that going in. So I just felt like the Raiders didn't seem like they were prepared to like have an offense on Sunday with the guys that they were missing. Obviously, we know Devontae Adams is out with, his trade demands. Jacoby Myers, he was out because he was hurt literally all week. So you would think that it would have been like a heavy run game plan. I understand the Steelers are good against the run, but at the end of the day, like, are the Raiders going to set the terms, or the Steelers going to set the terms? I thought that they were going to go into it running the football the way they started, but it was a tough game. I mean, how do you feel about the defense, man? Because that's the thing with me. Like, I understand the offense is going to be the offense. We knew what the quarterback situation was going into the season. We kind of know what Getsy is. We don't know if he's the answer. But what's your thoughts on the defense?
I said this on the show earlier, man. Like, when you have a defense that doesn't tackle, that's a mentality thing, bro.
Yeah.
And it just shows to me that they just don't give a F.
Yeah.
And that goes on coaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
So something has to be reassessed. I don't know. Something has to change, bro.
Yeah. Nah, man. Straight facts. I'm looking at the rush yards here. The Steelers rushed for 163 or 183 yards.
Right.
To the Raiders 57. Which
that's not going to get it done.
It's not going to get it done.
We saw this in the preseason.
Yeah.
The writing was on the wall with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I don't know. It's not the right group of guys that want to get the job done. They don't want to tackle. They don't want to hit. Like, it's a problem, man.
So is this more? Would you? Okay. You mentioned that tackling is you kind of said some. You threw some shots there. You threw some shots there, man. You said the tackling issue is more on coaching, so it's on AP and Patrick Graham.
It's mentality. It's the culture you're trying to bring into the team.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to bring in toughness, you got to find a new way to approach what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're the worst tackling team in the NFL. It was like 56 missed tackles before this game. It seemed like they had 56 more in this game. But man, I don't know, man.
Nah, you ain't lying, bro. Because they made Najee Harris look like Marshawn Lynch, man, in his prime. They made him look like Earl Campbell. Any physical running back that you can think of that was a all-time great, they made Najee Harris look like that. Every time he was in the game. They didn't have an issue with Warren. It's funny. It's kind of funny. They didn't have an issue getting Warren down to the ground, but when it was a physical back, like Najee Harris in the game, they couldn't get him down. And let me just look at his final stats real quick, because he 14 carries, 106 yards, 7.6 yards per carry, and a touchdown.
By far his best game of his career. It's crazy, man. On a week-by-week basis, we're getting guys having their career games against us, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then...
And I hate to say it, but we got to start looking at AP.
Damn, man.
What's your mentality? What are you bringing to the team besides a rah-rah mentality? What are you guys doing in practice? Is tackling being practiced? Are you holding these guys accountable?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to say AP's on the hot seat, but he's close.
Yeah. It doesn't help that he's never held a higher position than linebacker coach on the NFL staff. You know what I mean? He's never been a coordinator. He doesn't have a lot of experience. So, if Mark Davis feels like there's a better option out there, we've seen it done before. I mean, he literally had Jack Del Rio announce his own firing at the end of the season, just so he can hire, guess who? John Gruden.
Right.
So we've seen it happen before.
And even if we tank this season, right? Well, then we don't even have to tank. We just have a bad season. And we get that quarterback that we need. I agree with you. We got to keep AP 1 year for continuity.
Yeah.
but you got to pair the new quarterback with an OC.
Yeah.
Because you're setting up for failure under Getsy.
Yeah. And look, hey, everybody that's watching, man, like at the end of the day, like we're all kind of fresh off watching a terrible game. It's back-to-back losses, one against a hated division rival against the Broncos, and then this one is an all-time rival in the Steelers, and losing a bad way at home with the stadium filled with Steeler fans. It's so disrespectful in every way.
Where's the pride at, bro? Like, they let these guys come in here, take over the stadium, and you get embarrassed.
Yeah.
All that talk off season and being pissed off and all this other stuff, like, where is it?
Yeah.
We haven't seen that mentality on the field all season.
Nah, man, you ain't lying, man. I think Vegas that's a whole different conversation, man. Like, they need to win. Raiders need to win, straight up. That's gonna solve the Vegas issue. They need to win because it's an entirely different city. They don't know what they're still trying to figure out. We got a football team out here. Like, they're trying to figure that out. While opposing fan bases are coming in, like buying all the tickets, and that's a whole different issue in itself. But Raiders just got to win when it comes to that. But as far as this season, man, I think, man, it's headed for. Do we win more than 5 games?
We at 5. We're at 5, bro. That's what it's looking at.
Nah, man. Bro, hey.
But I'll say this, man, and I'll let you go, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell people how to spend their money, but I wouldn't spend a dime on this team going to L.A. next week.
Shoo.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
Hey, have a good show, bro. I'll catch you later, man.
Appreciate you calling in. That's Big Mike, man. My guy was able to come through, man, and just let us know how he feels, man. Like, if y'all haven't subscribed, go to Big Mike Raider on YouTube and follow him all over social media. He tells it like it is, man. It's the truth. At the end of the day, man, hey, look, when the Raiders are losing and they're losing in a bad way, you have to question everything. We talked a little bit about ownership. We talked about the offensive coordinator. And we talked a little bit about AP. And, man, Justin Fields, man, 14 for 24, 145 yards, and they still won. But this can't happen. 11 carries for 59 yards, 2 touchdowns. He got bailed out with some of them calls, I'm not going to lie. But the Raiders also, allowed him to get some key first downs, get some touchdowns. Let's look at what the Raiders were doing this week. Let me see. We got Aiden O'Connell, 27-40. Empty stat line to me. A lot of garbage yards. If y'all want to call in, make sure to call in at 628-333-9343. The lines are open. If you want to call in and let me know what happened today, man. What can we do? But I will say, though, we do got a guy in Brock Bowers, man. If it's something to smile about or to actually, look forward to on Sundays, is this guy right here, number 89. Not Amari Cooper. He's long gone. It's Brock Bowers right here. 9 catches for 71 yards. I like DJ Turner, man. I don't think he should be the starting outside receiver, but I like him as a receiver on this team. He had a big time catch on the sideline, but it's just not enough. Alexander was a factor in the passing game. It was solid, but it was not enough. Man, and Jack Jones, man. Whew, he got embarrassed. That's another guy that got embarrassed on Sunday. The team got embarrassed, but he got embarrassed. Was it Najee Harris that made a quick little juke move? Little L1. If y'all played Madden back in the day on these days PS5. Little L1 juke move, and he had him on the ground. That's gonna be like on SportsCenter's top 10 for sure. Gotta be. But make sure to call in. The number is 628-333-9343. Also, clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff, man. Let's get into the chat real quick, man. See what y'all. What's good, man? Cool, Kevin, the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, man. Pizzle. You right. You right about this, man. He did hire this coaching staff. Getsy is on AP. Getsy's on AP, and if Caldwell is not getting the job done for Max Crosby to push him coming off the field, that is also an AP hire. Because that defense, it feels like it took a step back this year. Fields look like Michael Vick. I don't know about that. Yeah, that was terrible, man. That was big too. It was like a third and like 3 or 2. He had was it Bowers or Harrison Bryant? I mean, they're both an issue right now, man. They're both an issue. Raider Chaos says, is anyone missing Jacobs at this point? I bet we regret. I mean, Jacobs is better than any running back that we have on the team for sure. No doubt about that. But I'm not sure if it would completely solve the issues that's going on with this team. I think we got bigger issues than just Josh Jacobs. I mean, I don't know how. What is? Actually, I got to check out what did Jacobs even do today. Let's take a look at what he did today. Let's see here. Packers. Let's go. Player stats. Let's see what Jacobs did today. Packers. I mean, come on, man. This is what we're missing. 18 carries, 62 yards, 3.4 yards. I don't know if we're missing that. I don't know if we're missing that. I think. But yeah, you know what? You might be right. Madison had 33 yards, 2.4 yards. Yeah, Madison didn't have like the best game rushing the football, but you know, obviously man. Yeah, I can't argue with you when Madison is averaging 2.4 yards per carry, but still, I don't think Josh Jacobs would be a guy that would solve the Raiders' issues right now. Raider Solo in the building, my guy. We're gonna get him on here soon. I feel so bad for Max. This is one of the worst plays of Raider football I've ever seen. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I've seen some pretty bad games. We did watch a 3-0 game last year. 3-0. But as far as team loss, I mean, you could probably argue that 3-0 loss was 100% on the offense, and the defense played obviously great enough to win. But that 3-0 game was so nasty. But, you know. And then there's been so many games, bro. I think that was just I don't know if it's the worst, man. I don't know if it's the worst game. I don't know if it's the worst. But it's your opinion. Steve says random, but Jordan Meredith deserves a chance at center. Man, James. Andre James needs to go, man. He needs to go. He needs to go. Every game he's getting out overpowered by the opposing defensive lineman. He's making mistakes, penalties. I mean, I wanted him replaced this offseason, but, you know, obviously the guard market went up, and then the Raiders thought, you know, would it be a shrewd move to just extend Andre James for the cheap? But I bet you if they knew that Jackson Powers Johnson was drafted, if they knew that he was going to be on the roster, I don't think James would have been extended. But they need to figure out a way to, like, after this year, like, he shouldn't be starting. Let's just put it that. It's done. His time should be done, man. I'm tired of him, man. For sure. Definitely one of the players that struggled this game. I'm with you, bro. Raider Frank the Tank says we fire people too much. 100%. 100%. We fire people too much. And that's why I'm like kind of like iffy on just saying, let's go fire AP. I don't know, man. You think it's smart to fire a coach after 1 year? I mean, do we expect a guy to come in and just win right away? I think sometimes certain situations deserve for a guy to at least come in, have a couple of draft classes, get his guys in there, get a quarterback. We don't have a quarterback. You're not going to win a lot of games when you don't have a quarterback. We all know that, right? But I think we expected the defense to be so good, top 10, top 5. We thought we were going to overcome that, but that didn't happen. Hey, shout out Diablo. Shout out Severe, man. If he's watching this, man, he's a Diablo, look good out there. I know Diablo, his guy, man. I think a lot of people were getting on Diablo earlier in the season, but he had a great game. They had an interception taken away from him too. If it wasn't for a personal foul, roughing the passer call. But Diablo had a good game, man. He was all over the place, whether it was against the run, pass coverage. You could see his athleticism balances well with it works well with Spillane. Obviously, Spillane is that, he's a playmaker, he's physical, but Diablo's more the athlete. You know what I mean? The guy that can just cover so much ground at that linebacker position and probably better in pass coverage. My guy, Super Omnicron, says, I'm just saying, Pharaoh, come on, Ben Johnson, if this thing goes double-digit losses, the Dan Campbell theory didn't include Jared Goff. I hear you. I'm thinking about it. But it's just 1 year, bro. 1 year. One year. If y'all want to call in, the number is 628-333-9343. It's just 1 year, man. Ben Johnson. I'm just afraid if we hire a guy like Ben Johnson and then it turns out that this dude can't connect with the players and he's just all X's and O's, which that's just me being paranoid because I've seen everything with the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't want it to be a situation like that and we just give up on AP too soon. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Give him more than 1 year. That's what teams do. Like, we can't just keep firing head coaches, keep firing people and expecting success. You got to have some type of stability, some type of consistency. But, like Big Mike just called in and said, and Omicron, you over here implying if we keep getting blown out and, Mark Davis doesn't believe in the plan, if there's no plan right now, like they thought they were just going to win this year and yada, yada, yada. You just sold your Dolphin game tickets? Man. I know, man. Going to the game this year, I don't even know. The tickets better be cheaper. If I go to a game this year, the tickets better be cheap. Like, I'm talking about dirt cheap. Like Coliseum cheap. I don't know if it's ever going to get down to that point, but like, hey, if I got to witness a game like this in person, and shout out to every fan that showed up to that game, but obviously y'all were outnumbered against the Steelers. Steeler fans, it seemed like it. I was there last year. It felt like it. Nationally televised game last year. That was sad. But what's crazy, that was a better game than this game, and that was coached by McDaniels. That's terrible. Steve says, unless we get a QB, we won't be able to pursue any big name. You mean like free agents? You don't think free agents will come? I mean, the Raiders are I think they're on their way to getting. Oh man, I think if I take a look, let me go to Spot Track real quick. I think at least $70 million in cap space, and if Devontae gets traded, I heard it could get into triple digits. if the Raiders continue to lose, they get a top 10 pick, plenty of cap space. I know you can't build a team through free agency, but we can re-sign some of the guys that we feel like are good. And then maybe get some free agents. And then obviously we got to draft well. Diesel in the building, man. He says that one hurt bad. Being there. Oh, man, he was at the game. That one hurt bad, being there and having to see and hear the Steeler fans talk. Hey, when I say I can relate to this, this is sad. Literally a year ago from, I don't know if it's from today, but last year we played the Steelers early in the season as well. And I had to walk out that stadium surrounded by Steeler fans. Was humiliating and flat out embarrassing. Man. Let me see if I could play something here, man. That
In there, we aren't good enough. They're better than us. Black and white, simple fact. Could have, would have, should have is the difference of what I'm talking about. The good teams don't come in and say could have. They get it done. All right? It's that simple. I'm tired of saying could have, should have, would have. That's why we ain't good enough yet. Because we're saying could have and they ain't.
Facts, man. Shout out to Jim Moore Sr., man. He never hold back on his pressures, man. They're classic. Classic, man. But it fits today, man. Woulda, coulda, shoulda ain't enough, man. Drew says AP can't continue to get blown out like this, though. You know it when you see it. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm with y'all, man. I'm trying to say, like, you know what? The right way is to if he loses the locker room and there's no plan moving forward on how they're going to improve and how to get better, like if this was part of the plan, because that's the one thing that we're failing to mention is that they might say all the things that they might say to the fan base, but what happens behind closed doors? What are they saying to Mark Davis? Because literally the elephant in the room, it's pretty obvious that we didn't have a quarterback before the season. And to start the season, obviously we're watching what we're seeing it unfold before our eyes as far as the offense and this team. What was the plan that was told to Mark Davis? Was the expectation that we're going to win and, we're going to do all these things, the defense is going to be top 3 and all this type of stuff? Then maybe you could see maybe a guy like Mark, whoever Mark is, his advisement team, whoever that consists of, and I don't know if you're hearing the news that Tom Brady is pretty close to finalizing his ownership in the team, so he might have a big say on some of the moves the Raiders might make. So we got to keep an eye on that. Come on, bro. Come on. You can't be serious. Come on, man. Who picks the players? Telesco is the guy that drafts and signs players to the roster. AP has to basically accept the players that he has and try to make the best of the situation. If he had his QB in AOC, then why didn't he start him to start the season, Pizzle? I disagree, man. I think he's just trying to see what works, man. Rare Chaos, we need to get an OC and a QB before we let AP go. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Shout out to Severe, man. He made a great point. It was like last week or a couple weeks ago where he was talking about where he compared the Raiders situation at head coach possibly to the Lions. You got Dan Campbell who literally obviously struggled his first year. At the time, they had a different OC that first year. They fire the OC and they get Ben Johnson. And then the rest is history. Look at the team now. Super Bowl contender. So a lot has to happen. obviously there's more than just hiring the right guy at OC, but there's obviously have to have that quarterback in place, which the Raiders need to do by, drafting the right guy. But it can happen. All right, Omnicron's not letting it go. He's not letting it go. He's giving out his head coaches if Telesco and Davis move on. Ben Johnson, okay, I think that's like number one guy on everybody's list. We got Clint Kubiak, OC from New Orleans. Bobby Slowick, OC from Houston. He's doing a great job developing C.J. Stroud. Joe Brady, offensive coordinator for Buffalo, and Todd Monken, OC for Baltimore. Man, a lot of offensive coordinators, man, because I see where you're going with this, man. I think you want to get a guy at OC with an offensive-minded coach to draft a young quarterback of the future. I see where you're going. Diesel says, literally, Watt was hyping up the crowd as if they were in Pittsburgh. If I had to say, it was 75% Steeler fans. 20. Wow. 75% Steeler fans, 25% Raider fans. It looked like it, though, man. It was a lot of Steeler fans, man. Every time they showed it on telecast, it was just like a sea of yellow and black. Or yellow. You know what I mean? Man, that's a huge problem, man. That's a big time problem. Hey, man. Hey, you already know Severe gonna be talking about this on 50-50 this Tuesday. He gonna be talking about this, man. Rattler look decent. Eichenberg, did he even play? And when he did play, it wasn't good. Embarrassing, yeah, man. Facts. Oh, we gotta. Oh my God, man. Called in earlier, man. And obviously he always supports, man. My guy, Raider Smoke. He says we got disconnected, but just wanted to say thank you for letting us fans vent and keep your heads up, Raider Nation. Our time will come. Until then, NBA season is around the corner. Oh my God, I got jokes, bro. Hey, man, I don't know if do we have NBA fans in the chat? I'm not sure we got NBA fans in here, man. It's a lot of Raider fans for sure, no doubt. No doubt, a lot of Raider fans in here. Let's see here. Let me get back to it, man. Let me get back to it. Let's see. Here we go. Lobby's done. Hey, he fumbled. He fumbled in preseason too? I think he fumbled in preseason. Which, I mean, it's just preseason, but at the end of the day, like, we were all wondering why Dylan Lobby wasn't incorporated in the offense. He was a guy, like, during the offseason, like, the beat writers and everybody that was there at the mini camps and the training camps were saying, like, this guy, man, he got a nice skill set, can receive out the backfield, looks like a guy that the Raiders can, that he can contribute this season. But we never knew why he didn't come onto the field. And I guess he didn't have a lot of trust built up with the coaching staff. And you know why now? He goes in there, first carry, fumbles. Ball security, man. Hopefully, you know what? Hopefully we get to see Lobby, man. I don't think he should be done after one carry, but it's not a good start, man. Omnicron says, Tyree Wilson watch. 0 sacks, 0 tackles for loss. 4 offensive players had more tackles than Tyree. Yeah, Tyree. It didn't look good when he had Fields had the he got him on that touchdown, I believe. I think it was like a play action. Raiders were able to cover it up, and he got him in the corner. But it was Justin Fields, though, so it's kind of hard to. he's not going to read him. He's not going to beat him on a foot race. But yeah, man, Tyree Wilson he doesn't look like a 7th overall pick. I'll tell you that at this point, for sure. Chaos, man. That's what I'm saying. That's why we were frustrated at draft. It wasn't because, we were frustrated that we couldn't get a quarterback in the first round, obviously. With Michael Penix obviously going to the Falcons at number 8. That was, man. We ended up getting Bowers, which we didn't doubt that pick. We just we had other positions of needs. But hey, look, Bowers looks the part. Looks like a great player. But as the draft went on, we didn't address the most important position. There's no way. I just don't understand. How do you go into the season with a career backup and a 4th round pick that was drafted by the previous regime? You have no ties to that quarterback. I'm talking about AOC. I don't get it, man. The quarterback position is hard to get right. So you might as well keep trying until you get it right. And for some reason, they felt like it was good enough. They felt like they can get away with drafting a linebacker in the 5th round. And man, Steve, honestly, I don't think the QB is on AP. I don't think the QB is on AP. I generally think he was willing to give it up. Yeah, all up, and Telesco's played it safe. Yeah. And that's my concern with Telesco, is that he's too conservative. Because if you remember, at pick number 6 was the Titans. They end up going offensive line, and they could have easily got an offensive line at pick number 6. I think Fuaga was still on the board. Obviously, it might have not been the player that they valued at number 6, who was, I believe, the offensive tackle from Alabama. But, no one expected this. To be fair, no one expected the Falcons to pick their quarterback or pick a quarterback at number 8, if we're being honest. But yeah, AP, people need to understand that the way this team is constructed, it's not the same way John Gruden team was constructed, meaning that the head coach had a lot of power compared to the GM. The GM, it's kind of a classic relationship with head coach and GM. The GM picks the players and the coach coaches. And Telesco didn't get a QB, so we got to be blamed. We got to bring up Telesco in some of this talk about why we don't have a QB on this roster and why the Raiders are losing, and some of this we got to get on. We have to give it to Telesco too. The problem with Mark Davis is not going to fire himself. Yeah, facts. It's his team. He gonna do what he want to do. Easy, yeah. I think Curry might have been there. Curry might have been there before. I think might have been there before they bought the team. I think they might have been there, but they did end up trading Monte Ellis. You know what I mean? That was a big time move at the time. Monte Ellis is a big player for the Warriors at the time. And they wanted to obviously give Curry more of an opportunity, because Monte Ellis is a ball dominant guard. Rest is history, man. You can't lie that the change in ownership changed the fortune of the Warriors. I know we're talking about basketball, but I'm only comparing it to that because the change of ownership literally changed that whole franchise trajectory, man. They end up winning 4 championships. If you're looking at the last 15 years, they're one of the top teams. So that's my main point, man. You might be right. As far as who got picked by who and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, a lot of the winning came under new ownership. It wasn't under the old ownership. I'm trying to remember the name of the old owner for the Warriors or who was the team was run by, but maybe in the someone in the chat. But like someone in the chat said, Mark Davis is not going to sell the team at all. Sports Talk with G says Mark Davis is trying to Tom Brady on the board. He is not selling the team. Yeah, he's not selling the team at all. He's not. He's not, man. That's his cash cow, man. He's making billions. But as far as the product that's on the football field, Raiders continue to lose, man. Raiders continue to lose. If you know, you know, man. I hope Mark Davis PM Chains takes like shit today. I think Mark Davis is known to go to PF Chang's. That's like his go-to place, I believe, or his favorite place to go, favorite restaurant. So, man. Man, he's not done. He said, I hope AP's Impala. Dixon says, I hope AP's Impala runs out of gas. Oh man, I think you said, I hope Getsy gets a flat tire. Well, hey man, when I say I feel where you coming from, hey, look, when we see this type of product on the football field, when we see that type of product on the football field, I can't get mad at you, man, because I'm feeling the same way. I'm like, they thought that we were going to believe that this team was going to win. Like, they thought this team was a winning product. They thought that Minshew was going to win some games for them. They thought, or win, or take them to the playoffs, or AOC. Like, they thought the quarterback room was enough. Oh, man. But, Rambo, I think I heard this. A lot of people are talking about this, man. A lot of people talking about this, man. Hopefully we get Murph on here soon, man. Murph from Raiders Fan Radio said, Raiders insiders at the Crab Fest said a contingency plan is already in place to replace AP if he loses the locker room or is ineffective at head coach. Sheesh. I think I know at least one of the plans, and I don't like it. I don't like it, bro. I don't even want to talk about it, but it rhymes with brooding. It rhymes with brooding, man. I don't like that plan, man. The king of mods is in the building, my guy, man. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, man. My guy, man. Daniel Kim in the building. Yeah. 57 yards rushing. The Raiders didn't get it done. Look, Daniel Kim comes in firing. He says, we have no pass rush. Our bend don't break defense only works if guys play whistle to whistle with their hair on fire. And that obviously is not happening, man. Facts. 100%, man. We'll see, man. Hey, look, we're 6 games into the season, 11 games left. They're gonna use the entire season to evaluate everything. Meaning they, as in Mark Davis, the front office, they're going to evaluate everything. And we'll see. We'll see, man. A lot of people talking about AP, man. A lot of people talking about AP. A lot of people talking about AP. Hold on, let's see here. I think that one's a big, that's on AP right there too. Raider Solo, we talked about that. AP not challenging that touchdown, but challenging a made catch is insane. Yeah, at some point, people are going to be like, you know what? I know he's a first-time head coach, but at some point, you can't make mistakes like this. Why were they hurrying up? Like almost like it was a close call, it was a fumble or something like that, and it looked like the Raiders could lose possession, so they try to hurry up. Like, nah, like I don't. Oh, man. But I think I'm behind in the chat, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. Ray, hey, my guy, man. My guy Ray in the building, man. What's up, man? He said try to call like 6 times to get through. Hold on, let me see. I don't know why. Okay. This is crazy. Ray, if you're still in the chat, if you're still watching the show, go ahead and call. Hold on. You know what? Let me see if I can. Why is it not? Hold up, Ray calling in? We got to get Ray on the line. Ray, if you watching the show, call in. 628-333-9343. My guy, man. I know you got a lot to say about this team. Let's see. Damn, what happened? Why is it not? Hold on. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, but if you're still watching the show, man, make sure to call in, man. 628-333-9343 is the number. For some reason, it's not telling me that. I see the missed call, but it didn't show me that you called. But if you want to call in again, man, I'm behind in the chat, man. I see y'all in the chat, man. Make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Ray says, Houston and Commanders are proof you can fix a situation by nailing your OC and hitting on a young QB. If AP is going to make it, he needs a real play call and hit on a QB. I mean, if he could survive this year, based on how everybody's talking about AP as a head coach. But we'll see, man. We'll see, man. I agree 100%. That OC job, often, if you have a defensive-minded coach, offensive coordinator becomes so important, especially if you're going to draft a young QB. It's huge. You cannot miss on that. And when they hired, well, to be fair, let's be fair here. Getsy was the second option. The first option was Cliff Kingsbury, who's doing big things over there with the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. Got the offense rolling. And obviously he has a young QB in Jaden Daniels. So it's not like AP, went all in on Lou Getsy. Getsy almost seemed like it was like he had to hire somebody and everybody else was hired. It almost felt like that. Gabriel says, Pharaoh's, it's bad, brother. This shit is hot garbage. Ah, man. Let's see. Yeah, man. Hold on one second. Keep AP. Bring in Doug Peterson at LC when he gets fired from Jacksonville. Ooh. Hey. But I will say, Mike, though, he does have a young quarterback over there with Jacksonville who's doing pretty bad. I don't know. I don't know if I want to bring Doug Peterson. I don't know, man. I don't know if that was the right move. If we could, I see where you're going with this. And if you think about it, if it works out, you got Doug Peterson, you got him for the next, I don't know how many years at OC, because, they're not going to keep hiring this guy as a head coach anymore. So I could see why you could say that. But, man, just look at the development of the quarterback out there in Jacksonville. He's not doing too good over there. I'm not a big Bo Hardgree fan. I mean, Jim Moore said, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yeah, I don't know if Bo Hardgree was the answer. So, it's not like I disagreed with them not bringing him back. I don't think it was a big time move. I think he's a quarterback coach who was in it over his head a little bit. Big Mike says, yeah, lobby hype train is brought to a halt. Yeah, facts. 100%. 100%, man. I'm behind in the chat, man. I appreciate everybody pulling up, trying to get through it. PF Chang's is subpar, just like his decision making. No, facts, man. Hey, Raider Solo says Mark Davis has one Raider outfit in his closet. Hey, man, y'all sounding like them Bronco commentators that was roasting Mark Davis. I think it was, he hates the Raiders, by the way, but he was just roasting Mark and his haircut and how he dresses and stuff like that. But hey, when the Raiders lose like this, man, anybody can get roasted. Anybody can get roasted, man. And Mark Davis is the owner of this team, and his team keeps losing, and he's continuing to be the owner, and we don't have a say in it, obviously. See how good Rattler looks with Clint Kubiak? Hey, you know what? Hey, look. He did look solid out there. I think I was watching that game. I think, you know, there were moments in time. I think Todd Bowles was obviously the coach for the Bucs. Second half, I felt like he was kind of confusing them a little bit. Threw an interception. They turned the ball over, and, you know, just the Bucs just scored the Saints, but he didn't look too bad. Didn't look too bad, man. 57 yards, man. 2 fumbles, blow the Oh my God. Daniel Kim says, man, hold on, let me. Hold on 1 second. I think this is Ray. Hold on 1 second. We're going to get Ray on the line if we can. Hold on 1 second.
Your call has been forwarded.
All right, man. Daniel Kim says, man, my question is, where do we start changing things? I think we came in way overhyped. Yeah, facts. But that's every season, though. Every season, we're super positive. We feel like we going to do some damage, you know what I mean, as far as, you know, winning a lot of games, making a playoff appearance. Every year that I've been a fan with the Raiders, there's always been off-season hype, and then reality sinks in during the season. And now the reality of our talent level, or our lack thereof, is clear. Raiders marketing team needs a raise. They do. Now, to be honest with you, I don't even think it's the marketing team. I think it's just Raider fans being super optimistic, man, because we want the Raiders to be good, and just sometimes that just comes with just hyping the team up when we know that, look, they don't have a quarterback. Maybe the talent level on this team is not as good as we thought it was. Offensive lines just right off the bat struggled. You know, it seems like we got some pieces there. You know, we got to replace some pieces, like Andre James. I think Dylan Parham went down with the injury today. Colton Miller, he had a slow start to the season. Obviously, he had off-season surgery, so he's slowly but surely getting better. But there's so many things that we can look to and say, like, have been an issue. From coaching to the obviously the product on the field. Aaron, bro, you think we think we're taking? You think we're tanking? That's what I'm saying. That's the thing. Like, they're not going to announce. Teams are not going to announce that they're tanking. But imagine if they had a conversation set with Mark Davis and the front office and the team were like, hey, look, we don't have a quarterback. This is going to be a developmental year, and we're going to focus on the 2025 free agency or offseason and draft and get our guy at quarterback. They can possibly have that type of talk behind closed doors. AP just try to go through growing pains, try to lead this team, win as much games as you can, but we understand that you don't have everything at your arsenal. That can possibly be the conversation. Because now that we're looking at it, like if we're being honest, now we're looking at the roster, we're looking at the team, we're looking at the quarterback, we're looking at everything. You start thinking like, how did we think that this team was going to be good this year? You know what I mean? Like just with no quarterback, no running back. No running back. We don't have a running back. Madison is solid, okay, but he's not a starter. Zamir White has struggled this year. We don't have a running back. There's so many things that we can talk about. Daniel Kim says we also have to see how Kingsbury does in the second half of the season after every team has tape on his tendencies. He's always fallen off in the second half of his team. But you know what? I will say this, though. Kingsbury got hired as a head coach to begin with. I feel like it might be a situation for him that he might just be better at OC. But you might be right. You might be right for sure. James Furple in the building. He says, salute Pharaoh on break, but stop by to say, yo, Ray. Hey, no matter what, man, win or lose, man, my guy James pulls up. Appreciate you pulling up, man. This whole thing sounds like a Telesco sabotage. Even if AP fell flat on his ass, Telesco could have already got him a QB. Come on, man. Hey, man. Look, that's another conspiracy right there. Hey, it possibly is, man, because Telesco didn't choose his head coach. He was paired with AP. AP was already hired, but by the time Telesco got that GM job. But Telesco's not a really aggressive GM. I've talked to Charger fans, and one of the biggest issues was the fact that he was not aggressive at all, especially in season, making adjustments, signing players. He wasn't really active like that. We'll see. I mean, hey, he got Brock Bowers in the building. Hey, we got to give him credit for that. He got JPJ in the building. Got to give him credit for that. Glaze might be a guy at right tackle or on this offensive line. Got to give him a little bit credit there. But Dylan Lobby, a little too early. We'll see. I think Richardson, the corner. I think he made his NFL debut this. I don't know if he had any time on the football field, but I know that he was on special teams. He missed pretty much the entire, first portion of the season. So, but the draft class doesn't look too bad. I mean, I think the big thing was that him not getting a quarterback. That I just felt like him just thinking that Minshew was a solid pickup. I just felt like if you get Minshew, you got to have somebody else. You got to add, like, you can't just get Minshew and be like, oh, okay, we got Minshew in AOC, That should be good enough. You talking about
playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Nah, facts, man. Playoffs, man. I'm not even. We not going to playoffs. I'll be honest. I'm keeping it real. Raiders are not going to the playoffs. If they do, I'll be the first to say that I'm wrong. But they not. They not. I am not gonna set myself up for that and say that, oh, they have a chance to make it to playoffs. Hell no. I'm not doing that. Let's see, man. Man, but look, man, I appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show. Just want to have a post-game reaction to the game and just hear from y'all, man. I thought I had this fixed up as far as the call-in line, but I wasn't able to, for some reason, hold on. Yeah, I wasn't able to, for some reason, hear some people call in. There was a couple. We were able to get Raider Smoke and Big Mike, but I think Ray wanted to call in. We're probably going to have to catch him next time. We'll probably do a show near future, or have him call in on a future show, man. But yeah, man, tough loss. Raiders, they got to play the Rams next week in LA, coming off a bye week. I hate playing teams coming off a bye week. It is what it is, but we got, especially teams like the Rams. You know who they got a head coach? Sean McVay. You know he was cooking something up during the bye week. So there's that. Super Omicron, I think, was talking about. Oh, you're talking about, man. Hey, man, Omicron over here. He's trying. He's trying. He says sign a QB. Matthew Stafford 2-year, 31 sign. Hey, look, he's already looking to the future. Omicron, salute to you, man. Appreciate you coming through over here, trying to game plan for future moves, man. I think they need to hire you in the front office for sure. They need to hire you, man. Daniel Kim in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Says salute for us. See you on Tuesday for the 50-50 show. Yeah, the next time I'll be going live will be this Tuesday, 50-50 show with my guy Severe. This Tuesday evening. Make sure to clock in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you're not subscribed, and obviously hit that notification bell so you'll know that anytime we drop new content on this channel, as well as anytime I go live, you'll be notified, man. So I appreciate everybody coming through, man. I know it was a tough loss. I just had to go live real quick, vent a little bit. I know the Raiders can be a frustrating team to watch, and it was a tough game. Back-to-back losses, Denver Broncos. Hopefully they bounce back. But at this point, I mean, I know nobody wants to hear this, but I think y'all need to start watching college football. Start watching some of these quarterbacks play. Start watching the top quarterbacks. If y'all haven't already, I'm sure some of you guys that watch college football are watching all the top quarterbacks. But if y'all haven't already, start watching some of these big games with some of these top college QBs from the first round and down. And figure out who might be a perfect fit for the Raiders, man, because that quarterback position, it needs to be taken care of this offseason, but it's not going to happen right now. So hopefully next week, we'll see a better game next week, man. I like watching the Raiders play well. I don't want to see games like this where they're getting blown out 32-13, and last week they got blown out against Denver. I don't want to see that. But, it is what it is. I appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show. Go ahead and wind down real quick. Let me see this real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. People pulling out. Yeah, man. Facts. Get the popcorn ready. Raiders hamster reel keeps turning. Oh, man, bro. You got jokes, man. White Tyson says pain. That's the sad part about it, man. We're going to be back here this next week to watch the game, man, because it's the team that we watch. Oh, my God, man. I never, the tribe, man, appreciate you. He said, I've never been a refs against the Raiders guy, but the refs gave that. Yeah. Yeah, man. But at this point, I'm kind of used to it. I'm like, hey, I'm looking at things that the Raiders can control, but that's a whole different conversation. We can keep going about how the refs literally, had some crucial, calls this game from the, personal foul, like the legal man downfield. When you watch the replay, like it was a ticky-tack call, took away a touchdown. We can keep going, man. But look, like I said, man, I'm going to be here next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Yep, blatant. Next Tuesday, 50-50 show. Make sure to tune in with my guy Severe. And obviously later in the week, Around the Shield, my guy Big Mike and Severe as well. Every Friday, we drop that. So, but this Tuesday, we'll be going live and we'll continue this conversation, man. Hopefully it'll be a better conversation and we'll have a good time that show. But today, man, it was tough, man. But I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all on Tuesday, man. All right, y'all. Peace.
Just win, baby. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.